What type of games do you play?
Mostly single-player ones.
What got you started into video games?
I was really young and I didn't like going outside.
I do sport games, Call of Duty, so first-person shooter. Yeah, mainly those two.
What got you started in video games?
My brother and my cousin, they played a lot, so.
Do you play video games?
Occasionally.
What types of video games do you play?
First-person shooter.
How long is the average game time?
These days, maybe like an hour or so, every now and then, with the weekends being like 2 or 3.
Gaming time.
In college, maybe an hour a day, if that.
What is the longest session that you've had?
I would say like 7-ish hours.
Did you do that consistently, or was that just a one-time thing?
No, it was consistent.
How long is the average game time that you play?
Anywhere from an hour to like 3 hours, but 3 is probably the max.
How often do you log on to video games?
Maybe once a day.
How often do you engage?
I like to try to get at least once a day, but if I can't get that, that's okay.
How often do you play?
Lately not as much, but in the past it's been like 1 to 3 times a week, depending on school.
What do you think video game addiction is?
I think that video game addiction is like a lot of other addictions like alcohol, tobacco, etc. It's something that people do in excess that gets in the way of their normal life.
Addiction is.
It's it's a dependency on video games. It's not being able to live your life without video games.
An inability to do daily tasks and other important things because you were playing video games. And just like any other addiction, or not like any other addiction, but like other addictions, it's hard to break. And it causes you to miss out on other important things because you're focusing on that.
How many people a year do you think engage in problematic gaming?
I have no idea.
Problematic gaming.
Too many to count.
I'd say about 17%. I don't know an exact number of people, but roughly that percentage.
Do you know anyone that might engage in problematic gaming?
Yeah, I have a friend that I believe stays up way too late on like normal school nights and like really important ones where he like has a test the next day, and it's foolish.
Problematic gaming?
My ex-boyfriend is super addicted to video games. I think at times my roommate might, but I don't think that happens very often anymore.
Do you think problematic gaming is an issue?
I think it's an issue, yes.
I think that it could be an issue. Depends on how the person is handling it.
Do you think video game addiction is a problem?
Yes.
What supports do you think are available to people that have this issue?
I don't think there are any supports available.
Need it.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I would guess there's probably like therapists that kind of specialize into it, but I don't think there's any or I don't know of any specific things.
Definitely like counseling and therapy. I know that's what some family members that I have gone to for it. And then like family supports and friend supports and stuff like that.
What can be done to make it more well known?
I think the biggest thing that people could do is just talk with people and have them think about what they understand about addiction, and maybe talk about like alcohol or cigarettes or such as like a gateway to being like, do you think that video games could be the same type of problem? And that I think a lot of people will say that, yeah, for some people.
I would just say change the stigma. I mean, right now it's kind of a bad, negative stigma. But if you change that to a positive, then it'll definitely help. Just make it more public.
Make people more aware.
Definitely like more, I don't want to say advertisements, but essentially advertisements, just more like PSAs, and kind of getting people more accustomed to it being like a real problem, instead of being just like, oh, that's what my son does, or my daughter does, or whatever, just in the basement all day. Just kind of having those conversations with people about the reality of it.